ఏ దానికి ROI వస్తుందో తెలియదు. సో దోస్ ఆర్ ద థింగ్స్ ఐ వాంటెడ్ టు ప్రెజెంట్ ఇట్ టు ద కస్టమర్స్. మన ఇండో అమెరికన్స్‌కి కానీ, బిజినెస్ ఓనర్స్‌కి తెలియాలి.
హ్మ్.
అందరూ కూడా నిద్రపోతారు ఇప్పుడు. సో దట్ నెక్స్ట్ విల్ బి ఎవ్రీథింగ్ దిస్ వన్ ఓన్లీ. ఇగ తెలియకపోతే వేస్ట్. వి హావ్ టు లెర్న్ అబౌట్ ఇట్. సో దీనికి ఐ గాట్ లైక్ అట్‌లీస్ట్ 15-20 మెసేజెస్. అరే! దిస్ ఈస్ నైస్ టాపిక్. వి హావ్ టు గెట్ ఇన్. సో పీపుల్ ఆర్ ఆస్కింగ్ వేర్ టు లుక్. సో ట్రాక్షన్ వస్తుంది. పీపుల్ ఆర్ రియల్లీ ఇంట్రెస్టెడ్ ఇన్ దిస్ ఏఐ అడాప్షన్. ఓకే. ఇంగా కాలేదు. ఇంకా 1 మినిట్ అయిపోయింది.
టీవీ ఛానల్ ఎక్కడ ఉంటది? అట్లాంటోళ్ళేనా?
టీవీ5 ఈస్ ఇండియా. ఇండియా ఛానల్ ఇది.
ఓహ్! దే ఆర్ లైవ్ ఫ్రమ్ ఇండియా.
యూఎస్‌లో న్యూ జెర్సీలో ఉంది. స్టూడియో
ఓకే.
ఉంది.
ఓకే. సో 8 వెయిటింగ్‌లో ఉండి ఒకరు డ్రాప్ అయిపోయారు.
దట్స్ ఓకే. నేను లైవ్ గురించి చేయను. తర్వాత చూస్తారు. జనాలు అవసరం ఉన్నప్పుడు చూస్తారు. రెడీయా?
రెడీ సార్.
ఓకే.
ఓకే. టైమ్ చూపించండి. టైమ్ చూసి స్టార్ట్ చేసేయండి.
ఓకే. Welcome to Mana TV and TV5. You are watching live from Atlanta. Today's our favorite topic again on the Insight with Praveen Puram. So we will be more deep diving into the AI. What are the basic things of AI? How AI is going to transform and how it is going to change our lifestyle, work style, and also the different businesses. So today we all are busy in our own technologies and in our own companies and in our own safe zone. So I thought bringing some light on AI and bringing some knowledgeable leaders, speakers across the globe will help all of us to understand the perspective and also to develop some skills what is required for our future work style. Last time we spoke about generative AI and we spoke from one of the leader, Mr. Govind from UK. And today I wanted to talk to Mr. Sankar. He is from Singapore and Malaysia. He is from that area. I wanted to bring this flavor from different countries and different perspectives from the different businesses. Last time we learned more about BFSI, right? What are the changes happening in the BFSI? How things are changing, how AI and generative AI is plugged into the different applications and integrations. And today we will learn more about manufacturing, data, how this artificial intelligence is imbibed in all our day to day. So let's welcome Mr. Dr. Sankaraya Sriramulu, called as Dr. Sankar. Thank you so much, Sankar, for joining. And it is midnight, and really appreciate your time.
It's a honor. Very good morning, everyone of US people and rest of the world. If it is a APAC region, I think good evening and thank you everyone for joining this session. It's a pleasure talking to you.
Thank you, Dr. Sankar. So coming to our live show, Insight with Praveen Puram, it's very, very specific, bringing different flavors from the different leaders across the Indo-American and NRI community. So let me introduce Dr. Sankar. Dr. Sankar is a founder and CEO of Turalytics.ai, which helps businesses through recommended insights using machine learning, artificial intelligence, automated analysis, visual intelligence, and easily readable graphs. In this role, Dr. Shankar leverages information, innovation, and emergent technologies to help business more efficient, sustainable, and accountable. He's also an accomplished data science and AI leader with 16 plus years of experience in involving and bringing new AI data science driven solutions to different industries in both public and private sectors. Prior to founding Turalytics AI, he served as a chief data scientist, working globally in transforming the speed of AI adoption and making data more meaningful by sensing related contexts and creating knowledge. He has significant contributions, including working with top semiconductor, workhorse, pulp, and paper manufacturing industries. He also has he's one of listed in the previews of top 10 innovative leader list in 2023 and business of data advisory board since 2020. He appeared live as an industry expert on the businesses of data podcast, Jakarta Post, CNN, CNBC, and spoke at several online media channels. He also received PhD with 10 ISI publications and Best Thesis Award in the Information Technology and Multimedia University in Malaysia. He received Master of Engineering in Embedded System Technologies, and Bachelor of Technology in Electronics and Communication Engineering. He is selected as a young AI expert from Malaysia to attend world's top 100 artificial intelligence researchers meet in 2016. He has filed 2 patents, published book chapters, and 20 research publications in reputed ISI journals and conference proceedings. He has delivered more than 200 hands-on workshops, invited talks, and keynote addresses in various university and conferences. What a fantastic journey in AI, Dr. Shankar. Why don't you brief about more about your company? What made you to think to build this product, exactly the big AI in artificial intelligence?
Okay, very good question. Looking at today's space, AI is concerned. Um, everyone talk about AI, but what missing a piece here is everyone brings the solutions to the data people, a data analyst or a data scientist, and so on. But what's a universal problem today's world is facing is the lack of data quality people. So everyone talk about they know AI or they know data, but they really don't understand how the data relates to the business. So that's where I wanted to bring the solution or a platform or a tool which can leverage businesses from the data. That is a one aspect. Second aspect is, if you look at it, any tools available today, everything is costly space. And the third aspect is most of the people are coming up visualization graphs. So the biggest challenge in my experience of in industries like a manufacturing industry, like my past company is like when I'm working in a manufacturing company, there are some of the times is like C-level executives. It's hard to convince them to showing in graphs. So it's like that same, because it doesn't mean that we can't make them understand, because in a busy space, it's like if you are like, let's say if you're having like tens of businesses, and if you're showing is like every business is in one of the dashboard, it's hard to understand, and it's a time consuming. So that the space I wanted to bring in a simplified manner. So today everyone talk about AI, which is a Gen AI, we call it as, right? So I brought a Gen AI into concept. So everyone stop at a graphs, but my journey starts from there. So it's like till then everyone works. So my journey starts from there means, so up to the visualization, like if you're looking at a data space, right? It's like a three building blocks people talk about: data engineering, data modeling, data visualization. I wanted to add another layer, which is called as a data recommendations. So that's where I brought into the big AI. Big AI means we utilize a big data, like enormous data. We wanted to use it to bring a business value. So since we use a big data and it's a hype word as well everywhere, that's the same space. I wanted to bring a value in terms of same big data and a business. So I named into the tool name called Business Insight Generation. Since we use AI, big AI means business insight generation using artificial intelligence. And even if you talk about reverse way, AI can bring generating insights for business. So if you can look at it, so I'm talking about, instead of talking the data, I want to talk about the business. I want to talk about the value. So see, every business today is looking at it like what value can bring it, because I'm spending money to store my data. Even if you go, even a small supermarket, a restaurant, everyone has a data. So whether they are utilizing the data to see the meaningful value or not, that's where I wanted to help. So, and one more thing is like today AI space is, AI means is expensive. That's the tagline came up. So I wanted to bring that tagline to a common way of it. So means like it's in affordable manner. So you'll most of the tools today available are very expensive. I wanted to bring data to everyone. So means like I wanted to make it a common, because it's like I wanted to democratize AI. Even people talk about democratize AI, which means it should be affordable, but it is not affordable. People even though talk about democratizing AI, it's not affordable. I wanted to bring a affordable. That is one aspect. Second thing is, what we built a big AI is a microservice architecture. What does it mean in the sense? It's just like a building blocks. If you know, it's like if I have a blocks, I can build easily any kind of. If you're looking at house building, right? All is like a boxes. If you in the US, it's like in 2 months time, if you give a design, they bring all the parts and they assemble it, right? Similarly, we built our tool to relate big AI. It's a building blocks. It's like we build a microservice architecture building blocks. So easy to build solution. That's the first thing. Second thing is, businesses are keep changing every 6 months, sometimes even 6 months to 1 year. So we can't replace it. So that's where, even though we talk about a digital revolution or whatever call it as transformations, right? Most of the projects fail because we come up into the standardized architecture. That architecture fails after certain time. So I wanted to bring this kind of microservice architecture when and where the business changes. I wanted to plug out that specific component. I wanted to add it. So it should be easy to adaptable and easy to replicate it and easy to scalable. So that's where is like I wanted to bring a few aspects here is cost effective microservice architecture. Means like everyone need to be useful, because we bring it as a no code platform, which means is like everyone can able to use it without any coding knowledge required. And second thing is, most of the today tools available are only specific to the cloud. We built architecture which can support both on premises and cloud as well.
Multi-cloud. Excellent. I think probably the tool definitely is very specific to data. So my basic question you talked about is, you said that the graphs, right? So if you rewind 2 years back, everything was like, pulling the data here and then and presenting it. Then came the no code, low code tools. You can pull and you can add, connect, configure every database and then pull and then manipulate, transform the data and then look at it. Now you are saying AI is imbibed, right? You are telling on top of graph how the recommendation happens with this AI. So to my audience, let's think everyone are dumb. They do not know anything about AI. So what is making between the AI and the graphs? What is that? Is it a model? Is it a same like a database? Or what exactly I can understand as a layman? What exactly is added there?
Okay, let's understand in fundamentals of AI, and I think everyone knows the definition. So you all know that AI means artificial intelligence, right? Which means what it mimic the human cognition, means like human knowledge. So it's like when any system which mimics the human behavior or a knowledge or a patterns, that's call it as a AI system. So if you're looking at graphs, right, what we embedded, so it's like once, because as I said earlier, so data science means is like a three building blocks. That's a block box. They say that data engineering, data modeling, then data visualization, which you call it as the graphs, which you said that is a third block. So the problem here is understanding. It takes time. So that's where I wanted an easy manner. So let's talk about in a manufacturing sector. So it's like a 24/7 machines are working. So the one project which I used to work, and now also we are working on one of the project called sheet break prediction. So it's like a paper manufacturing. The paper is continuously rolling. So if you're looking at a paper per minute is 1,500 meters, it revolves. So And the biggest challenge here is compared to the predictive maintenance of manufacturing and the paper is completely different, because there, if any problem, machine stops. So we have some indication. We are the here is not the same case, because the machines will be running, but paper will be cracked. The roll, the paper is a scratch. So here, if you're looking at it, the fast speed, the lightning speed is moving it. So when I showing the graph, I can't understand. It takes time. By the time there is something is happened. So what I wanted to use it. So we wanted to use the same thing, a human way of it. So what human does, so they go and physically monitor it, but it's practically also impossible. So what we did is like we used the same AI, means like a Gen AI, which we call it as. So it see the patterns of the graphs, because when manually, if you are understanding the graph, it's a time consuming, it's a difficult to understand. That's where we use a Gen AI and the behind. So we run LLMs, so the large models, right? So we use LLMs. So it tries to understand the patterns, and it derives the recommendations, which means is like a one line tag sentences. So these the tagline sentences, like so and so time, so and so going to happen it, and so and so factors. So we extract that kind of recommendations, and we try to send it to WhatsApp, SMS, and email, three forms. So we use AI to understand the graphs and in a readable format. Then we send it in a text format. So it's just like if you're looking at a speech to a text conversion. Same here, what we are doing is visual to visual semantic representation. From visual to, we are extracting the like semantics.
Excellent. Now, at least we got an perspective and an example what you have shown. Now, my next question will be: everyone will hire a person based on his experience, right? For example, your AI is learning day to day. When you are learning day to day on your product, when the same product is implemented in the other areas, can I expect the same result, or you need to give some time to learn more data? So what is the perspective there layman can understand?
Okay, so we all should understand is a AI in a bit deeper stage. Definitely it doesn't work. That's the biggest challenge as well. So everyone thinks is like AI is magic, and so it's a hype word. But what happens is AI is like a simple example is AI. We can say that. But if you're looking at a different space, is like gaming and all is a different. But when it comes to the data space AI, we look into the different space. It's like we have to train the systems. So it's a we treat like a baby. So if you're looking at that's where is like whenever AI we incorporate into data space, then we treat as a baby. So if you're looking at it, we all had a babies in our home, right? So if you're looking at a baby, good part is if you give any kind of if you are giving any gadget, so when you say that it's a mobile or it's a handphone, so if it you need to teach a baby is like few times it's a mobile or it's a handphone or certain keywords, and the baby it does, it's like it takes and it revolves and it does, right? So that's the same thing as like AI does. So if you go, there is a toolbox called deep visualization toolbox, it does the same thing. So you can see the layers how it is extracts. So what happens here is, but good part here is AI doesn't make mistakes. So same baby doesn't do mistakes, right? So once baby understands, it tells always a truth. But even if we try to tell this is not a mobile app, this is not handphone, baby doesn't accept, right? So same thing, AI doesn't do mistakes like human does. So but is like even though if it is a similar nature of the problems, but sometimes the data may change a certain aspects. That's where what we do in a data spaces is like the biggest challenge also comes to the AI. Most of the people doesn't understand in practical environments. they take certain data, they train and they test it. They say that the model is very good and go to the production, but it doesn't work. So what we do is the data is keep changing it. So we do in a real production environments, what we do is we do backtrace of input data quality. So we keep on tracking the data quality. When and where the data is keep changing, immediately the model need to be updated. That's the first step. Second step, we also need to keep track of it, our models and our results. So when and where the results are moving aside, means like whatever metrics we call it as, it can be accuracy metrics or it can be false negatives or false positives in different scenarios. Let's say in a COVID, it's like we always talk about a false negatives because we should not miss any cases, right? So whatever the metrics, performance metrics we see it. So when and where the performance metrics are deviating from certain standards, so the model need to be updated. So that's the way the model need to be keep retraining. So then we can keep the model stable and we can see the better results. Otherwise, definitely it may not work.
Absolutely. So I think that's very, very interesting to know more about the models and how we need to keep them reading. So in you have attended a world's top 100 artificial researchers met in 2016, right, Dr. Shankar? So I would ask you how, from that particular meeting, how is AI revolutioning in various industries such as healthcare, finance, transportation, education, etc. What did you observe from the different leaders in that meeting?
So if you're looking at AI, if you're looking at a back days, AI is only specific to certain domains, right? So only people they may be utilizing is like people everyone knows only specific, like only that driverless cars or only certain aspects. But many of us, we don't know even today what's happening in a different fields. Like you take it a simple agriculture. So we all don't know is like agriculture, is there any AI is involved. So today AI is involved to measure the soil quality. And the project which I worked earlier, a couple of projects actually, we used to send a drones and to monitor in a remote areas. It's like thousands of kilometers apart where I used to live, and we used to send the drones. There locally, the drones will be sent, or we take a satellite images and we try to zoom in, and every tree precisely we used to monitor it. So what is happening? So that's the AI is coming into agriculture sector. So when it comes to the manufacturing, which I said, so it's like every 10 seconds the sensor data. So we keep tracking of every 10 seconds. And if you're looking at one of the manufacturing sector which we are working, we had is like 1,675 sensors. So it's looking at the thousands of sensors. So we need to real time, we need to keep monitoring it. So those, if you're looking back, like 7 8 years ago, we are not looking at that aspect. Because the reason behind that is like, one is we did not have enough data. So if you look at it, a back days, like I started my data career in early 2015 or late 2014. But those days the data used to be very limited. Second thing is computation space also used to be limited. But today's what advanced is, we had enormous data because AI should learn. So even if you're looking at AlphaGo game, so even though AlphaGo game AI win, but the problem is even driverless cars, even today we are facing a problem because the data is not sufficient. That's where it does some mistakes, right? So it's like a year require more and more data. So what evolved, I can say that we got enormous data. That's where advanced the technology. And we can see this, all the chart GPTs, all these um, billions of parameters it's trained. So that's where is like a technology evolvement. and a competition space. In third aspect is the data availability, and people are also maturing it. So those days, if you're looking back like 5 to 10 years back, people are not ready to. So people are doubtful. So whether it can help. So even some of the spaces when I go, is a convincing is the biggest challenge. So especially in manufacturing, I had a bigger challenge on convincing the user. So they say that, okay, my process is continuing last 30 years, so I'm happy. So what your technology can help us. So the biggest challenge is they don't understand. If you're looking at one of the manufacturing which I was working, so per minute the production loss is 1.3 metric tons. So let's say, like if I predict the breakage or a failure of a machine 30 minutes ahead, looking at a 30 minutes, so it's like a 30 metric tons, but they don't understand because they say that I'm happy. But the problem is, even if I say, because most of the people, um, they expect 90%. So because this is a metric they always derive is like, my accuracy should be 90%. It may not happen in AI space because we need a data. We need to data and we need to keep training it. So it's like a baby, as you might seen in our homes. It's like a baby. Once we tell few times, and first once or twice baby does a mistake, but we keep training, right? Same thing, AI space is like that. So at first instant, systems cannot give 90% accuracy. So convincing those kind of fields, it used to be a challenging those days, but now people are understanding. Because what I started explaining to the manufacturing sector, okay, I can't give 80% or 90%. What I can give is, let's say, assume 50% accuracy. So previously you had a 0%. So don't look at it accuracy. So let's say if I save, if let's say one break per day is like one breakdown of your machine, if I predict correctly, forget about it, you had like a 4 times a break or one time a break in a week. So let's say if I predict a one break, let's say one break causes, like for you is like 1 to 2 hours to fix it. So let's say if I give it, so 1 hour, let's assume, normally once they identify, especially the like bigger manufacturing process, right? So identifying a section itself takes time. So the fixing, it takes like the average break time they used to see it is like 4 hours. So let's say 4 hours per hour is 1.3 metric tons. So per minute, I'm saying is a per minute 1.3 metric tons. 60 minutes, 60 metric tons. So average, at least, even if you put it at 1 metric ton, it's like 60 metric tons. 4 hours, 240. So times of the 1 metric ton cost. So it's like a huge. So I convince them, assume is like a one break I detect. So this is a value I'm bringing it. Don't look at it the accuracy metrics. So that's the way. So most of the businesses understanding AI, the maturity was improving. When you're looking at back, the maturity levels were not there, and adaptability was not there. So if you're looking at it, the technology trend today, what we all need to learn is first adaptability, means like acceptancy, and means like a change of attitude. The
Absolutely.
third thing is convincibility of it.
I think you have addressed the right challenge there. So my next question would be on the same challenge. With the rise of this AI, right? What changes are expected in the job market? Which industries might see the significant disruption, right? Definitely, there is a need for everyone to upskill. So, what do you think the job market will look like? Seeing the pace of artificial intelligence and generative AI, how do you think we need to change?
So if you're looking at a job space, right, everyone are worried. And one thing we all need to understand is um, disruption doesn't mean is a destruction. Okay, so that's everyone we should understand. It's like everyone talk is like there is a massive, it's only shift. It is we shouldn't be panic. It's a only shift, it's a wave. So when we are not ready to adopt, let me give you a few examples here. Is like if you look back, 2 decades ago when Microsoft Excel came. So all the accountants were panic. So imagine those days accountants were not ready to accept that today they will be obsolete, right? But what it happened, it helped them. It's not replaced. Its only thing is if they are not ready to adopt that time, they will be obsolete. What they learned excel, so they are excelling. So even today gen ai, whatever ai we call it as chat gpt or whatever we call it as, it is only helping tool. It's not replacing. Only thing is we need to adapt, we need to learn, we need to move, change. That is a one thing. Second thing I can say that definitely there is a, we call it as a 4D task, like a dumb danger, these dirty, these jobs, right, definitely will be replaced with AI because humans are becoming a lazier. If you're looking at homes these days, getting a maids are difficult. So that's what we got is a human robots, right? So that's AI. So and we are becoming a lazier to remember the routes, so we are depending on a google maps. That's ai. So we are becoming a lazier to type something, we are asking a siri to tell. That's ai. So it's all is helping, it is not replacing you, right? So but people panic when it comes to the job space. They panic, ai is going to replace me. Definitely ai is not going to replace. AI is going to help, and it is definitely AI will be the ally, not evil or anything. We need to be um, we need to look into a different aspect and a positive angle than looking at a panic. So it's just an horizon. It's here. We have to transform the world, and we have to celebrate this technology advancement rather than looking at different aspects and a panic and fearful mode.
Absolutely. I think you explained in a very simple way, Dr. Sankar. So now coming to when you talked about upskilling, right?
Yeah.
So what skills and competencies are crucial for every individual to drive through this AI? So from the your experience, do you think every individual should be transforming in data or prompt engineering? You will see a lot of things emerging, right? So from your experience, everyone, so whether he's a developer, tester, he's a database, or he's doing customer executive, or any job is going to adopt this AI. So now I hear that more prompt engineering, more data. So from your perspective, from all my users, and especially in the United States and other NRIs, need to upskill. If like in India, if you talk, it won't work here. You also have to have hands-on. So what is your specific guidelines for everyone to upskill their competencies?
Okay, let's look at it. Definitely, knowingly or unknowingly, we have to adapt the technology. That's so. If you don't adapt, definitely we will be obsolete one day. So we have to upscale. So that's where is like a simple example is if you're looking back a few years ago, we never use mobile payments, right? We used to be scared as well, but today we adapted. So that's the same thing. AI, we have to learn, either knowingly or unknowingly we have to learn. So ai is not a magic. That's the one thing we need to understand. ai is not a magic, but it's just one skill set. How we have to learn that skill set is the biggest challenge here, is right. We have to master it, but only thing is how we can adapt and how we can evolve. That's the one thing is like but the question arises to everyone mind is how do I prepare for this ai driven future? So that's the question everyone thinks, right? So the if you're looking at it, so I can derive into three aspects. One is which I said earlier as well, adaptability. First thing is I wanted to be adaptable. So change definitely is a constant. So are we ready to change? That's the first mindset we have to come up. So and then more true is AI driven landscape is can we change into a our catalyst than when we are talking about other ways. So first we need to make our mindset is AI is my catalyst. Okay, that's the first thing. Then I need to be a tech savviness, which doesn't mean that writing a code or debugging a software. So, but what I need to be, because that's anyway ChatGPT does, that's AI does. So you don't need to write a code these days. You don't need to debugging a code. What it is all about it, tech savviness means it's all about it, how I understand underlying the principles of AI. So whether I really understand what is AI, what is the principles of it. So, and next aspect is whether I speak the same language of AI. So these kind of technology advancement we have to upgrade. Whether I talk AI future fluently or not. So that's a one aspect of technology aspect. The third aspect is emotional intelligence, where AI can't replace. So emotional intelligence, every AI require. What does it mean in sense? Even though AI takes all the tasks, so AI can replace certain jobs. That's what I said is AI is not a disruption. Sorry, distraction. It's only disruption. It's only shift. So AI can take over a different jobs, but what it happens is uniquely human traits. Human traits set apart is a emotional intelligence. That's where we need to upgrade our emotional intelligence. What it does is we need the ability to connect and build relationships. So how to make a relationship and critical thinking and creativity and emotional intelligence, so which are all is like a key factors to um, uh, improve it. So when you are looking at it, what is the critical thinking factors we have to bring it. And if you're looking at these skill set, right, creativity, critical thinking, emotional intelligence is not no longer is nice to have, it is definitely must have skill sets. So when you cultivate like must have skill set, definitely we will be in upper hand than anyone else. So another one is AI is moving like lightning speed. So whatever we see last year, next year definitely there won't be there. So that's where instead of specifically I'm telling is like you learn this, you learn this. These three factors is like adaptability, tech savviness, and emotional intelligence. If we improve these kind of a three broad way of understanding of technology space and adaptability mindset, then definitely no matter what, wherever what the technology changes, we will be in a innovative way. And definitely there will be human touch is still required, there will be required. And we need to also need to think one more thing definitely will be required is ability to empathize. So that is also important and innovate. And we need to think outside the box. So that skill sets always, if you keep it in a mind, so I need to think outside the box, which AI can't replace. So definitely AI is smarter. So another aspect everyone doesn't understand is, if you're looking at it, a simple way of understand this job space, everyone thinks is like AI is replacing a job. But AI is not replacing. One example I wanted to give. Let's say in our offices, always we recruit top talents. Why do we recruit? Because when talented people comes to our office are working as our colleagues, so they do better than us. So if you bring a dumb one, they don't. Same AI is like that. So you bring talented aspect, same like your colleague. So here is a tool that is AI. So when you bring the more intelligent partner or your friend or ally, so that makes us smarter. Let's say your colleague is smarter, we also make ourselves is a smarter, because we need to be smarter as them. Otherwise we can't sustain as well. That's where it's like, so we need to be always compete each other. So that's where we can be the mindset. So we need to adaptable. First, we should not be panic, we should be adaptable. So when we have this kind of mindset, definitely that will help, and that will be the creates different parts of future.
Absolutely. I think rightly said. More focus on the emotional intelligence, connecting the dots and relationship. and how to use the different tools wisely, right?
Yes,
These are
correct.
the skills everyone should maybe prompting to the right AI tools and then getting the data. So
Yes.
wiseness should be improved among us rather than scaring about the jobs, right? Rightly said. So now let's touch little bit about the ethical concerns, right, which arise when you implement AI and how all of us need to contribute to ensure to use this responsibly. What are your thoughts?
Uh, so this is the biggest question is like if you're looking at AI can be used for a good or bad, right? So this is the biggest question. Everyone also panics sometimes. AI is going to disturb the world. So people are also started using like different bad ways of it. So recently, one of my friend forwarded me. There is a fake chat. So there is a link. If you go and use it, so you can create a fake chat in it.
Oh,
So let's say a fake chat. So like in between two users, let's say we don't know. Let's say it's like if somebody can go and create in between Shankar and Praveen. So like the way we spoken, that is not a real conversation. So but it can be shown same WhatsApp, whatever media they wanted to use it. So that screenshot they can take it and send it. So actually we never spoken, we never communicated, but it will be created. So that means it's like people are also can use bad ways of it. So that's where these ethical concerns comes, right? So always what I wanted, see, if we looking at, since we are talking about NRIs, yeah, Indo-Americans, we are all, our roots are very strong ethics, very strong roots. If you're looking at back thousands of years ago, why Columbus and Vasco da Gama traveled to find India? Because it's a rich culture. Those days even no house used to be having a locks, right? Because everyone used to work under principles, dharma and principles, right? The ethical principles. But over the period, the ethical principles are missing due to the selfishness. So all over the world, it's happening. So same thing when it comes to the AI, I wanted to bring a same thing. So what ethical guidelines or ethical principles we need to use it? The first thing is our self-ethics. So I should, so before somebody is enforcing somewhere, so every human being should make a mindset that I need to use good cause for a good purpose, not the bad purpose. That's a fundamental we all need to learn, because we came up the culture, we should not lose it that. So that's the first ethics if you remember it. Then when it comes to the technology space, when you talk about the same technological space, first is a transparency. So AI should build our AI system, whatever we build or we develop, it should be transparent, and it should be always understandable, and it should be explainable. That's where we call it as explainable AI. So it has to be explainable way. Then second point is a fairness. It has to be unbiased. So because human does a bias, but same thing, AI shouldn't do that. So AIs we have to build in such a way that it should be unbiased. So it has to be fair. And and also it has to be promoting in a equality and inclusivity. So that's where we can bring a fairness. The third one is a privacy. AI should respect always a privacy, the data privacies, right? So we have to make ensure the data protection and confidentiality. So everyone that we have to come individual. So even if we don't have it, but what everyone should understand is we have to put some governing rules and policies. Who has to use what data and who has to enforce what? So that's where if we maintain certain hierarchical standards of data protection, the privacy comes. The fourth aspect is accountability. So every AI developers, so let's say we become AI developers, so we have to be accountable. So what is the impact is going to make it? So if I do a small mistake of this, what is going to impact to the society? So we are not representing as a one AI developer. So it is representing a whole committee, because here we are utilizing a public data. A lot of places, right? We are using a lot of data which is not belongs to you and me. So that we have to be accountable. But many people don't take accountability because it's the data is not mine. So we have to make it accountable. So once we make these guidelines are as an important, so it is not only important, it is essential, which we always need to consider as essential. And they protect us and they direct us. If we don't do that, right, so one day that way may impact us. So once we make all the guidelines as essential, they protect us, at the same time they direct us as well. So also we need to ensure that AI is not is helping us. So it is improving our lives, and it does in a way that if you make for a good, good will come. That's the trait we call it as, right? Same thing. When we make good causes, AI definitely protect us, and it does in a way that ethically unfair. So my nutshell conclusion is we need to be accountable.
Absolutely.
That's
I think you said very simple that we are the creators, so we need to be responsible, we need to be ethical, we need to make in a good way. But of course, there are some bad actors will be definitely doing. So the governance should take care of that. So very well said, Dr. Shankar. So I think we are approaching at the end of the hour. So I just wanted to make few more things. For example, any developer, tester, or accountant, or anyone, most of them deal with the content, right? It may be the Word documents, it may be the data collection, or it may be the email drafting, it may be the presentations, or it may be. So most of them are done by the Chat GPT, right? There are 11 different platforms across, but most famous is Chat GPT and Bart today. So, what do you think the minimum AI tools people should know from your experience, because you have been using it to your day life, right? So, I'm sure that out of 10, still 4 are not in that stage. They don't even log into the Chat GPT as well. Some of them might not have done that. So, what would be a good suggestion for them to start looking small tools, use them, make efficient accuracy and speed in their life?
the first word. If anyone dealing a data, first Excel is the best AI tool. Many
Okay.
people they don't know data analysis. There is a one toolbox, so that default it won't be there. They need to enable it. That gives us a lot of. So Excel, if you're making utilizing a better way, Excel itself does a lot of things. That's the first thing. Excel, we have to be pioneer. So if you are good at, I have seen there are, I can say that 50% of this world does not utilize Excel full-fledged. That's the first thing. Okay. Second thing is there is a copy data AI. So that is a simple chat GPT. You can, so what questions? And before even going chat GPTs or anything, right? So even people used to approach me, where can I start? Where can I learn data science, or where can I learn a machine learning? Where can I learn AI? So my first answer to everyone is first go to the YouTube, because we are all lazy. Day to day, we are becoming a lazier, right? Type different combinations of words. So whatever the field you like it. So the combinations of your liking field with AI.
Mhm.
So try to listen some of the videos, and whichever you don't like it, you skip it. You have option it. You don't need to watch everything, right? So YouTube is the first level of that's a YouTube has to be one of the tool. I can say that that's where they can speed up their working life. The second is a Google. So we don't need to be fear, or no need to be shy to ask, right? So like a Google. So we don't utilize even a Google very well. Google also does. Even Google has a lot of things. So you can ask. Only thing is we should have a patience to search. So even whatever the tools which we are talking, Notion one is there. Is like a good content creation. You can also put it. the nicely. And even one of the tool, let me show you, is like one thing is like I also keep forget the name. For a presentations is like one of the good one is like a second.
What is their Gamma.ai, which I know?
Gamma.1 AI is one thing, and Canva.com.
Canva.
Canva.com is also very good. And it does a very good presentations. You can go and even find what kind of themes you wanted. So it's a free. So what I'm talking is always is like free ones is like a copy date AI and Notion. Notion is one thing. You can also put it different structures. We can put it different kinds of schemes. um,
And one more I heard about Devi.ai for lead generation. Even
yeah.
the LinkedIn has the AI of creating these things. So just wanted all our users, who are starting with ABC, it is always good to get into that, make your things faster and make it pretty and move on, right? And then do you have anything which is easy to use in data?
Data, there are tools are available, but it's a limited space. Again, is like um, there are a lot of tools available. Is like all the development tools which you call it as like a Vega, all those. Even H2O.ai, Data IQ, also they give us like a trial versions. Um,
And are there any specific educational initiatives for all the team to, go through and start attending those educational initiatives and get certified? Do you suggest?
um, So if you ask me, there are a different links is like you can call it as one is towards data science. There is a one mm, uh, we can also look into that. Um, um, Mostly is like I can always recommend is a Coursera is a one of the world's leading and EDX. Um, and even a YouTube is good. There are a lot of lectures, you can see that. And I always recommend the people to start in a reverse engineering way is like go to the GitHub. So try to find out different use cases, try to understand. So try to understand, and so from there is a people's always put a problem and solution as well. Try to understand. It's a fast pace of understanding. Then a Kaggle competitions. There are also different AI or data science problems are there. So so those problems we need to understand, and we there is a problem and solutions are there. People already shared it. So take them and try to test it. So try to understand it, try to replicate it. That's the one aspect is like a fast way of learning. And rather than taking a courses, because these days no one expects any certifications. So no one asks how much knowledge we have. That's the only thing we require, right? And also most of them will be working. So when they're working, it's very difficult for them to find a time to attend the courses, and spending a long time and learning this courses, and writing like a quizzes, or submitting assignments, and writing a final exam, and all those things is like time consuming. So even if it does, so finally is there any benefit? So most of them does not require these days a certifications. So what it requires is a knowledge. So knowledge is a power. So engagement is a key. So that's our mantra also, right? So always is like many people thinks they wanted to start, but they just start, but after that they don't continue it. So engagement is essential. So when you want to learn something, we need to be engaged. So that engagement mantra, if we can bring it into a sphere, so definitely we can see the different way of learning.
Absolutely, Dr. Shankar. I think this is very, very insightful. And I'm sure that the audience will know at least the basic concept of what is artificial intelligence, how our lives will change in our course of time in our job and in our life as well. So, finally, to conclude, what would be your recommendations for all the community across the NRI community and Indo Americans? What is your final message on artificial intelligence and how it's going to shape in their lives?
Yeah, we have to understand we live in a world where technology is advancing in a lightning speed. It's like the faster ways of progressing, right? It can feel overwhelming everyone, but especially when we are in miles away from our homes. So everyone, right? But there is exciting news as well. We don't need to feel left behind. Okay, so as AI continues to transform our world, staying ahead is a non-negotiable and also critical, right? So what we have to understand is the Indo-Americans or NRIs, we whether we have a unique position to leverage AI and drive the transformation. That's we have to raise questions to us. But one good thing, if you're looking at the Indo-Americans, what we have a good um, skill set is we are bridging, connecting between two vibrant tech cultures. So one is like when you see the Indian space, right? We have good technology space people, means like the software side, and when it looks into the US aspect, we have a strong research background and the technology space and advancement, and they welcome everyone, and this kind of cultures is like, first one is you need to have capability to do that. Another space is like you have that's we can see that. So as I said earlier, knowledge is always a power, so we need to be engaged, so that once we cultivate the power of mantra, definitely we can thrive the AI. So and let's say if you all does that, the biggest question comes to every one of us, is like how many or how can we stay updated and engaged with AI related developments? That's a question comes, right? So for that my answer would be like, you don't need to be alone. So say there is a big community is today to keep we all up to date, and there are a lot of communities, so we have to be in a space where we can able to connect. And whether we are an entrepreneur or a techie or a curious spectator or something, for everyone it's like we have to be connect the dots. So we have to join the communities, and not only joining the communities, let's say when we learn we also should share the knowledge. So that's where is like we can help each other. So this like what happens is when you share the knowledge, you are learning better than them. So sharing a knowledge makes them is more advanced. And second thing is, we always, knowledge is a power always, but we also need to think it's a blueprint for AI as well. So when you improve your knowledge, it is bringing a blueprint. And especially like in AI space, right, even though it replaces a lot of tasks, but what it can't replace certain things is thinking in a tangible way, or generating values into a tangible manner, or the complex problems in emotional way of thinking. So these can't be replaced. So we need to be looking into that aspects of moving forward. And definitely now is it's not the opportunity worth trying to shape, but what it is essential. So it is every one of us, it is essential to be a AI person. So knowingly or unknowingly we are using AI, we have to use AI, so we have to adopt. So and so the first step is to join any AI community, and we need to share and communicate. And so we have to take a first step as an initiation. And once that mindset, when we move forward, definitely there will be a good future. We can embark on the thrilling journey together, and definitely there will be a brighter future every one of us. And look at always is a positive side, don't look at it the negative side. Most of our mindsets are, we always look at a negative side, we have to look at it a positive side. So I welcome everyone. So they can find me in Google, LinkedIn, everywhere. My name, if you search. So I welcome everyone to enter into AI space and AI world and our community. So I wish everyone all the best for their future.
Thank you very much for the inspirational knowledge what you have shared, Dr. Shankar. And as you said, sharing knowledge, that is exactly reflecting this insight with Praveen Puram for all the Indo-Americans and NRIs. I always think that, the governments in India will be doing a lot of transformational. Now they are thinking about more trainings across, and also some of the companies are doing like 100,000 trainings, 200,000 trainings. But what about NRIs, right? No one is going to spend time like in India here because it is expensive, right? That's the reason I wanted to bring these flavors to the people here with people like you, great people like you, sharing your time, enlightening the knowledge on the space what you have with practical knowledge, right? So, friends, that this is all about the how AI is going to shape in future already now. That's where we listen from Dr. Shankar. Thank you so much for giving your time. And more in future, we will be more getting. I'm already getting overwhelming responses from what is a how what more AI can bring, what tools, how vendors can be selected, what is a prompt engineering. So I'm trying more people, and also Dr. Shankar is also referring some people, and every one of you are also referring. So based on that, I'm trying to bring good people here to learn. And let's keep warm, and please share this. And if you have any questions to Dr. Shankar, you can find him on LinkedIn, or you can put me a question. I can connect you. Again, thank you so much for your time. It's already late night, and have a
Thank you,
wonderful
everyone.
bye.
Wish you Happy New Year, everyone, once again, and wish you all the best.
Thank you, everyone. We'll meet again next week. Thank you.